So this project is taking the thirsty Kentucky bluegrass that uses a lot of water that's around the city and county building on all sides. We're going to take that out and we're going to put in a Colorado scape. So we're going to put in drought resistant plants that need a lot less water, that bring a lot more color, that will attract pollinators and create a resilient space right here at City Hall. That's part of our broader program to transform landscapes all across the city.
This is our chance as the city of Denver to lead by example. So we're taking Denver's front yard here, the front of City Hall, and we're turning it from what used to be your regular backyard Kentucky bluegrass turf. It takes a lot of water, also a lot of mowing, and we're replacing it with native grasses. So what that means is it saves about 1 million gallons of water a year. It's also really beautiful, easy to manage, you don't have to mow. And so we're trying to use this as an example to show how we can make the city beautiful and also more drought resistant, and this is just one way you can do it.
We've grown up with Kentucky bluegrass lawns, and we're used to that kind of landscaping. It's not natural to this part of the world. As we deal with climate change and a more dry and arid climate, it's very, very important that we landscape in a way that's natural to the environment and not contrary to what is naturally occurring in this part of the world.
Part of why we're doing this here is because it is Denver's front yard. And we want people to see it and get inspired and be like, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I could do that in my front yard. In little projects all across the city, the total effect of that is truly transformative for our city.
About 40% of water use among Denver water customers is for lawn irrigation. So the more people can conserve the outdoor water irrigation piece, the more secure our water supply will be.
No matter really what your yard looks like, if you wanted to replicate something similar, you'll be able to draw inspiration from this project somewhere. If you have a very shady yard, I would encourage you to look on the Colfax side when it's done. If you're in full sun and it's very hot and very dry, go look on 14th Street where it gets full sun all day and it's a lot more succulents and cacti and that kind of look. And if you've got something kind of in between the two, look in the center of the kind of welcoming arm of the building. You really have an opportunity, no matter what you're dealing with at your house, to draw inspiration from this project.
We have a broader city goal to convert about 50 acres of infrastructure this year into green infrastructure. In some places that means taking a sidewalk or asphalt and pulling it up and putting native grasses there. In other places it means converting what are really high water usage open spaces into more native grass open spaces. That makes it more water absorbent. It also makes it less needing of irrigation and water usage, and we think it's beautiful. So this is a good example of both greenscaping to get more green infrastructure around the city, and really Colorado scaping, which is creating a landscape that doesn't need more water.
We are very selective about what grass gets replaced, and this is absolutely not an everything at every part, especially as we're hoping that more important people in the community will transform the landscape in their front yard, in their backyard. Then even more reason why we will need those turf grass areas for recreation, for leisure in our public spaces. So we're really very tactical about what turf is not being used for recreation and leisure and can be converted, and areas that are being used for recreation and leisure, those will remain as Kentucky bluegrass.
This project, we're working really closely with the greenhouse in City Park. They're growing the bulk of the material, which is a really cool opportunity. Like I mentioned, over 20,000 plants. So by putting in plant material in containers, we're speeding up that establishment timeline quite a bit, probably shaving off at least a year. So realistically, heavy construction this year, a lot of disturbance, new little plants in the ground next year is when we expect things to like really take off. Next year will be the big visual impact for a lot of flowers, a lot of blooms, things like that.
Projects like this are very complicated, so it's critical that we are bringing in the different partners. Some of those big partners are obvious, like Denver Water, at every point of the design, the construction, the metering of the water, and making sure that we're achieving our savings. Our partnership with our forestry department, right, to make sure that while we're reducing water on the turf, we don't want to reduce the water on the trees. We need the trees to still be thriving and provide that shade and all of the benefits to the heat island and benefits to our community that they provide. And also then with our greenhouse, we're able to grow grow 20,000 plants in-house at our greenhouse through that partnership between our operations, our construction team, and our greenhouse to bring those and have them ready. They'll be bigger too than they would have been because they have time to grow them in the greenhouse so that we can put bigger plants in here instead of just seed on a project like this. Definitely it's going to take some time to establish, and that's one of the hard things about transformations is we come in and we replace it and everybody thinks, oh my gosh, that's what it's going to look like forever, and it's not. Those plants are going to grow, they're going to grow in. It's going to look very different in that kind of first 3 years as it's really established. So that's why I invite people to keep coming and keep looking, because it will evolve to what it looks like more permanently at that point.
Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page for these stories and more. And stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver, premiering each month. Thanks for watching, Denver.